I just got a couple of questions. You have any idea how many riders we're gonna have? I mean,
They have 10 or 11 right now, I believe.
okay,
So that's what, like the days we go to Walmart, they would probably have more people than days we go to medical. But, they have, we have to have that information, how many riders are gonna ride that Monday, so that we know how many we're gonna be pulling.
and
Which is
up-
good.
Yeah.
That's a
Going
good
up
number.
that far, I mean, if something medically happens, are we prepared to handle this?
Well, the drivers do have first aid.
Okay,
I think it's coming up, though, that we need to get it again. So, but they all do have that. They all
'cause
have
we're
first aid.
quite a ways from medical care going that way.
Right, right. Same with Durango. We go to Durango, we go
Yeah.
to Farmington, and those are medical trips, So I think it's probably about the same as, like a trip to Durango or even Dove Creek, so, as we go to Dove Creek too.
Closer mileage wise to Durango, but
Yeah.
up that river is not
Yeah.
near as fast as going to Durango.
Yeah, right,
And
right.
the cell service isn't quite as
And
good.
you don't have any
Right.
cell service.
Right. And we did get a tech grant, you guys had signed off on, a few months ago, and I want to try to get some kind of, system that instead of the cell phones, that we have, the two, I don't know what they call it, the two-way radio kind of thing, like the bus garage has.
Yeah,
So that,
even that's sketchy up through there.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
some real,
okay,
That
lack of a
valley's,
better term, dead spots.
that valley is just
yeah,
very tough. for
Yeah.
communication.
Once you get past Lightenbergers, there's nothing till Rico.
right.
Actually, Priest Gulch, believe it or not, that little
That little
half a
stretch,
mile both
yeah.
ways,
Oh,
there's
I've
service
never
at
stopped at
Gulch.
Priest Gulch to try and make a
I
phone
haven't
call,
either.
so I didn't know that.
I didn't either. So, but yes, that's something that even CDOT says is we can't, I mean, obviously they're seniors, but CDOT doesn't want us to do things like that are not, unless we're not taking away from our riders anyway.
Right.
So, yeah, our actual Montezuma County riders, so.
So then, Ian, I have a question. Obviously, to sign this IGA, if we sign it tomorrow, obviously to tweak it, because it'll obviously take a couple months to figure out for sure what the absolute costs are, but do you think that would be an issue with the town to say, look, this is not covering it? Or has that really been expressed? Is this pretty clear that we can
Well,
make that
it's-
tweak?
It's got the termination clause that allows you to terminate it on 30 days' notice.
Okay.
And so that is there. It's always best to have an agreement that you're going to follow through till the end. And so, I mean, my thought would be, hey, if we're not going to cover the cost and that's something that this board wants to do, then we better get a number in that's going to be accurate. I mean, I don't like to fall back on termination clauses, but legally you can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we don't like the number that you give to us with your math and decide we're gonna increase it by 10 cents a mile or whatever, do you think that would be a struggle or an issue with, because it sounds like their board has already approved this, right?
Yes, their board approved it last Wednesday, and that's just because of where their meetings fall in the month compared to where Jennifer was scheduled. But I think they're pretty reasonable, and if you said you needed to increase the price by a little bit, I don't think it would be difficult to get it changed.
Okay.
Yeah, Chauncey's really excited about being able to get these seniors. We have them call all the time, do you guys come to Rico? We don't, so now hopefully.
Well, I think it's a good way to reach out. I don't have any issues with that at all. I just, again, like I said, if we're not covering our costs, then I just want to make very clear that absolutely that has to be taken care of. So if you'll send that to us, we can review it tonight and then we can deal with this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Other than that, pretty straightforward as long as Ian doesn't have any problems, which he doesn't, so. Okay,
Great.
All right, thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
thank you, Jennifer.
Oh,
I
you
have
did
one
it.
more thing too.
No, you
sorry.
don't get one more thing. This is
I
it.
sent it. It's more of a, it's more of the RFP that I sent. Did you have a chance to look at that, Ian? I just wanted to make sure I wrote it.
For the feasibility,
Yes.
so, can we discuss it?
Oh, here he goes.
It's not on the agenda.
Oh, I sent, okay, I sent it to her, that's fine. I can,
How time sensitive is it, Jennifer?
it's not, I mean, I have until the end of next year, so.
Let's talk about it when it's on the agenda. When are you coming in to present next?
Tomorrow?
Oh, well, I mean, for the,
For this,
It would be the end, I'm usually the end of the month,
yeah.
so, or, yeah, third or fourth.
So I think we could talk about it then if it's not time sensitive. Does that work for you?
That's fine.
Okay.
I think it's, yeah, we've been talking about this now for 2
Quite a
years.
while.
Yeah. and I've got the stuff.
My whole conversation was gonna be, why do we keep waiting for a feasibility study? Why don't we just start doing it?
Because we have to have the feasibility studies to do it,
To be,
compliant with CDOT. And see with CDOT, if I
okay, so
do the-
we're, sorry.
Yep, see, yep, okay. I
We'll,
didn't know it was
we'll,
on,
we'll
wasn't
discuss
on the
it, sorry,
agenda.
man.
No, you're
Is, well,
Sorry.
All right.
I
I'll-
I did see it, but I have a lot of questions on that one too.
Okay, so we'll wait till I do my, okay.
Well, we can put it on the agenda for next Monday. We don't have to wait. We only have to wait a week.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, that's right.
I mean, if it's not time sensitive,
Yeah.
why have them come in on a special?
yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
grant is good until the end of next year, so,
Okay,
okay,
perfect.
thank you.
See you later. Okay, Dustin, come on up. We're gonna talk about janitorial services. You got some to bid and some not to bid.
Yeah. Dustin, you'll have to tell me which one you want, because you've got a bunch of files.
If you
Which
go
one?
to the first one, I think it has his Excel sheet of where the bids were.
Yeah. And I ended up confusing myself, and the first one I actually sent was correct, and this one isn't.
Oh, this one isn't?
No, I can get it adjusted. I was doing the math on what CARES was gonna be for the rest of the year and what the difference was, and I ended up confusing myself and thought I messed it up. So I sent her a different one, which is actually not correct, so. Monica, the only thing that's different on that one is Monica did bid all three, facilities. Monica's cleaning service. So for Moco, she bid 4,200, and Road and Bridge 7,000. Well, that is the right one then. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. So, she's the only one that bid the sheriff's department. Is that gonna be an issue? I think her and David were the only ones from CARE that bid it the first go around. Nobody else did either.
But they didn't,
And then CARE defaulted on their contract with us, so. He would be $7,000 for the rest of the year, so what we're having a $4,500 difference between what Monica's cleaning service would be and what we were gonna pay.
increase,
Yeah,
4,500 increase. That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna ask is what did we, cause I didn't pull up that information, but it's $4,500 for just the sheriff's office?
yeah. And then, if Decker Associates does Road and Bridge, it's $1,960 is what CARE wanted, so it's a $1,540 increase. And then if we have Superior Services do the Moco transportation in the maintenance office, it's a $1,120 or a
Increase.
$455 increase. So the total was at $6,495.
that's a big spread.
More than we would have paid through the end of the year.
6495?
Yeah. And I believe we have that in, we had more than that in the budget for that account, that line item, because of, we couldn't get a hold of, Stockwell cleaning for so long, so we put it in the budget for the highest amount that it was gonna be because we couldn't get a hold of them. And then we actually I got a hold of them and somebody else, and we weren't gonna spend all the money that we had in there for that line item. So we should be in good shape as long as everybody's happy.
What happened with CARE? They
left their keys on my desk with a note that said thanks and God bless.
well, so-
Contractually.
Yeah,
I know where you're
contractually, they're
gonna
in
say,
breach
I
of
know-
contract, and I
Yeah.
guess, you know, generally, just in very general terms, when you breach a contract, then you have to put the contracting party back to where they would have been absent the breach. And so, you know, if we're having to pay $6,000 plus extra, because of CARE's breach, CARE's liable to us for that. Now, whether you guys want to pursue that or not, I think is something that, you know, is going to be up to you. I mean, obviously, litigation isn't cheap, but, you know, it's not really the way contracting works. You don't just get to start and then
So
stop.
do we have a copy of that contract, Travis? That you can pull
CARES
up?
contract? We'd have
For
to go
the-
back and pull it up.
I don't have one with me.
Tell you-
Did we just sign our RFP that we put out, and was that part of the contract too? Because it looked like,
Yeah,
there was contract language with that.
yeah, that's basically the same thing, other than when I gave him his, it had all 3 buildings on there. And I split it all up this time.
So would it be fair then, guys, to give Ian an opportunity before we award this to look at that? Because you're right. Now it's $64.95, $6,500 of an increase because somebody just walked out on their cost.
Well, so, I mean, so ultimately, you know, the building has to be cleaned.
Mhm.
And obviously, CARES has indicated that they're not going to clean it. And so they've breached their contract. Now, the choice you guys have is to go back out and, you know, look for bids like we did and get this thing signed. I mean, there's a couple different options. I can reach out to CARES and say, hey, you know, honor your contract, or I can say, hey, you breached your contract, this is what it's going to cost the county, and this is what you owe. I mean, those are the 2 options, but I mean, given that the buildings aren't being cleaned right now, I think you guys have to move forward. I mean, I think CARES did they let you guys know what they're doing, which is they're not going to clean anymore.
Trying to find your budget here, Dustin, and look at that line item. So used to looking at the sheriffs that I have it memorized. Not transit.
They're not in their building out there either.
Oh, CARE?
Oh, really?
It's a new owner. He's only had it a couple of years, I think. And then he's in Dolores now. I don't know if he's running out of his house or if he has an office over there or what that's like, so.
Yeah, I don't.
Because, when we had that flood over at Annex 1, they came and did the flood mitigation. And when we sent the check, it went to the CARE that we had in our system, and, well, he called a month or so later wondering where his check was at. Well, he didn't tell me that the address had changed, so I didn't have a correct W-9, or the county didn't, I guess.
But he got paid and.
Yeah, he
Okay.
did get paid.
Well, I guess as long as we do have the money in the budget, I mean, we do have to get the buildings cleaned, so that's kind of where we're at right now. And then Ian, we'll leave it up to you to try and capture that $64.95 through contractual language.
So just to give you guys I'm gonna send a letter to CARES and explain to them they breached the contract, and then we'll start with a letter, and then obviously we can visit from there.
Okay. I like it. Sounds good.
It's on page 13 of the Maintenance Expenditures General Fund. It shows that maintenance contracts for 23 was 223. Does that sound right?
Yeah. And then
SO was 15.
yeah.
The SO was 15, but what have we already spent? This doesn't show the expenditures. This just shows moving forward.
It was 1,000 a month so far, so,
So
and then he hasn't been in there this month.
4 months, so.
Yeah, $4,000.
So we're gonna be overspent by 1,000,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Has Bravo ever bid anything?
I've reached out to them once before and he wasn't interested.
Okay.
Um,
I think that's kind of where we're at, guys. I don't think we have
Yeah.
anything else. We're not gonna be that much, but the overall budget is what we have to look at. Are we gonna, as
Yeah.
long as we don't overspend the overall budget, we're okay.
Yeah, I should be good.
Okay. Any
Um,
other questions? No. Okay, next one. HVAC.
All right, so I sent out, the request for just the units to all the carrier dealers in the Four Corners area. And these are the 3 that responded. I know we give a little bit of a local discount, but I wasn't sure what that is.
Actually, I asked Travis that too, because I couldn't remember either. I know that there is a local, but these range from like 20, I think it was 23, right? Or
Or 25,
I'm sorry.
330, or,
25 to 28.
yeah, for the units themselves. The rest is all just getting a boom truck and the electrician to disconnect and connect while we're swapping them out. And with the lead times, that may not all happen this year. So I was just trying to get the units bought for sure, and if we can get them up, we will, but
What kind of a cycle do we have these units on replacement, Dustin? I mean, are they on a 10-year replacement cycle, 15-year? What?
I don't think we really have one. The ones up on or on the sheriff's department, they didn't have hail guards on them, and before I worked here, they were all damaged from hailstorms. So now they had an insurance claim, and they replaced quite a few, and then Mike's had been trying to replace 2 a year, and then last year we couldn't get any because of the refitting the factories for the new SEER rating. And then, so last year they told me I was over a year out, so we decided not to do anything. And then when I reached out to them this year, they told me again that it was at least a year out. So I was like, well, can we at least get them bought and get them on their way? Because we can't just keep putting this off. So the ones that are still, these 3 that I'm looking at are hail damaged bad, and just, they were original to the building. So that thing's 22 years old, 21, 22 years old.
90s, right? Late 90s?
It was like 2000 or 2001,
So,
I think.
so
Yeah.
they've done 20 years, yeah, they're
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
Are these basically heat pumps?
They're package units. They've
Okay,
got an
yeah,
air
it's-
conditioner and a natural gas
And the heater.
for the winter.
yeah, they're a full HVAC
Okay.
unit up on top.
And then on the jail side, we have those split units that are more similar to a residential, you know, with the outside condenser and the inside
Yeah.
unit.
I was thinking if there was any energy rebates we could find out there.
Yeah. Yeah, probably, I don't think so for
Probably
for
not.
what they are.
So
I mean,
where
I
would
could-
you take this out of, Dustin?
This will be in the HVAC replacement in the general fund, I believe.
And we give 2%.
Huh?
It's 2% for local.
2%. See, I was right. So we're
I thought it
not,
was 5.
we're not anywhere close to 2%. 25.3 to 28.4.
And I did reach out to, what was his name, Jason, I believe, to verify that that was still a good price, because he was the first one to send me a quote back, or a proposal back, and it was, over the weekend was his 30 days, and he said that that was still a good price on Friday of last week, so.
I think, obviously, give us a little bit of time to look through the budget to find these numbers. I'm not finding them right now. You said they were in the capital for the HVAC replacement
Yeah.
through the
It
general,
was-
or they're in yours?
It was on the general. I believe there's 45,000 in there. We haven't spent any of it.
Dustin, in his proposal, he's got taxes here of 8.3125%.
For
Now-
Farmington.
We only pay 7.35% here in Montezuma County, and this is delivered here. So we shouldn't be paying
Shouldn't
Farmington
be,
tax.
we shouldn't be paying any taxes at all.
No,
Well, this was free on board in Farmington. I'd have to go pick them up, but
But that's okay, we can still give a tax exempt certificate and pay no
Yeah.
taxes, that's,
yeah. I
That's
asked
what we
Phaedra
do.
about that right before I came in here, and she said some places accept our tax exempt in New Mexico and some places don't, so I'll get with them on that. I can try and get an answer before tomorrow's meeting,
yeah, just clarify that with them.
which that would help the price even better.
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'll find that here in a minute, but really, I guess if we're looking at it, it looks like Farmington Heating and Metal is by far the best cost
Yeah.
allocation, doesn't it? That's probably your recommendation, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anything else?
I don't think we need anything else at all.
Thanks, Dustin.
I would though, if we haven't put throughout the entire county, if we don't have some kind of a schedule for replacement, we probably really should identify that, because there could be more out there that are 25 years old that are just gonna
Yeah.
quit, or we're not gonna find ways to fix them. I would, and then figure out through the manufacturer what kind of a replacement cycle they need to be on, so that we're preparing budgetarily wise
Yeah, so we're not just,
to capture it, because what if we have 3 go out at one time? And
Yeah.
what if there are more than 5 SEER units?
yeah,
That's a pretty big hit.
yeah.
So on the budget, there's 40,500 budgeted
Oh, okay,
out of capital.
yeah.
What page? 3?
I've got my pages marked, sir, so I just went to capital and pulled it up.
Okay.
But it shows 40,500 budgeted for HVAC.
Okay. So we did good then. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Well, if there's no
Well-
other questions,
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll try and get that tax part
Okay.
straightened out
Okay.
by tomorrow.
all right.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
With that, gentlemen, we are to the end of our workshop, and this workshop is adjourned. Thank you, Dustin.
Appreciate it.